All right, we're back. Let's see. Better light. Which way is the light better? Light better. Oh, we're getting warmer. We're getting warmer. Oh, look at that. That's warm. Whoa, warm. Oh, better. Oh, look at that. Okay. All right. Oh, well, I'll stand this way then. You can see me better. Unfortunately, I've sensed some frustration. I know some women have sensed when they're watched only because of men wanting to sexually gain from them. But you see, now I can kind of see how the camera adds 10 pounds type thing. And I look at myself on camera and I think the 10 pounds is not there because I just fit into a prom dress. Yeah, no, whatever. If I'm gonna look normal on a camera, I'm gonna look normal. And Earth Angels, just so you know, if you have self-esteem issue like that, where you have this kind of almond shape or heart shape to your face, most Earth Angels have that kind of shape, this sort of heart shape. A family member of mine, I'll just say it that way, has a similar kind of shape to their face, and I'm almost positive is also an angel incarnate. So, what do we talk about today? Well, we talk about how I'm frustrated indigo about certain philosophy channels being reptilian fronts, but this kind of stuff they offer you, I mean, it's all the popular stuff that you want to watch. If you're watching this, chances are that you're spying on me, or chances are that you got randomly lucky, which I have at times too. Randomly seen a person going by their real name, or you can easily find their real name if you follow what they say in their videos, or on their Facebook or things like that. And you will, come across things. Because starseeds, we know the idea is, right now they're trying to get us to just sit around and not do anything. We need to connect. What they are doing is they are chanting different numbers to create frequencies and such, and walking along specific patterns. This goes along with Hermetics. All the people in the Golden Dawn stuff know this, which now I'm really glad I tried to read the 01 book, and I failed miserably trying to understand any of it. But now I keep seeing those pictures. Try to remember this. Try to remember this. Cryon keeps telling me, try to remember this, and that's a lot of the secret. But it's using it in a different fashion than what they're using. So you see, we're not supposed to be afraid of, oh, the occult, oh, whatever that stuff is that's being done is evil. It's not evil, it's physics being used with negative intention behind it, which is also physics. Which physicist Tom Campbell actually talks about. I tried to talk to the guy, but couldn't get a hold of him. You can't really do that or get an interview. I just wanted to say hello to the guy. But you can't really, get an interview with him or have little eyes pop up on your phone trying to tell you what to do unless you say, yeah, I'll go along with your bullshit, basically. I'll go along with mindless 1984 style stuff. And it does seem like you're helping people when you do that. It does seem like that, but in the end, everyone ends up screaming, "Help me! I want to get out," or ends up breaking out. Or if they're a very influential person and they break out, they are forcibly contained somehow. Like, people just tackle them and somehow assassinate them or do something to them to try and stop their spirit from continuing. So, I'll just go ahead and say it with the channel, Red Pill Philosophy. I was being, you see, I was reading the blog, and it was almost like I was hearing, see, this is what we wanted you to do. And I thought, yeah, I know I can write like that, and I know I can do it better. And and well, see, Arcturians don't have a hierarchical thinking mindset like that, though. But you see, humans do. So, or at least we've been programmed like that. So, try and push that on you. And I thought to myself, well, something doesn't, and I need to take a look at this. And finally, I get to this one video, a really funny video, where this guy goes around saying that he's he's on a college campus, and he's going around saying that he's from the Food Administration Service or something, and he's monitoring what people eat. And you see, they actually do this stuff to you in reptilian compounds. They, won't let you eat certain things, or will poison different things, or, it's really kind of bad. But he was acting like a police officer, giving out citations that were warnings, and it was hysterical. And then at the end, you see it says also tweet, and it showed a different tweet address than the original one, so I thought, okay, I'm gonna try that just because I'm persistent. I'm a persistent bitch. And I think to myself, if something doesn't smell right, but I don't care, I'm gonna try it anyway. And so I sent a tweet, but then I just think to myself, look up who that is. And it's a woman who writes in Russian. Whatever. The other thing is that, my phone has been hacked into quite a lot, so it could be that that's just to make him look bad. But, this, comments under the David Icke video, every comment that he actually makes underneath the David Icke video, or that is made underneath the David Icke video, that, it could be real, is, I hope you get molested in your sleep. And it's, meant to sound like it's funny. But I'm thinking to myself, excuse me, guys, it's kind of real. This, yeah, real, and I survived. The first person ever or something, apparently. Or one of very few to survive. The first person in the compound that I was in ever to walk out alive. Apparently the first human ever taken in to walk out, ever, in the history of its founding. Something like that. Which was groundbreaking. I know people are breaking out left and right, and one thing that was so paradoxical is that at the bottom of one of the guy's articles, it said, what they want you to do is sit on your ass and not actually do anything about it. And I thought, well, yeah, every time I actually make artwork, actually work on my website, actually attempt to create these things without selling my freaking soul, however you'd want to term it. You could term it in more physics type fashion if you wanted. Selling your light source. Selling, simply a buying or selling type concept, an economics concept of giving portions of your light source in measured increments. They've got a whole science behind it, because they do it. So, because every time I try to do something like this, make a video, try to work on the website infinitelightlove.org, or my email, which is arcturianphilosophy@gmail.com, or arcturianphilosophy@infinitelightlove.org. But I check the arcturianphilosophy@gmail.com one more. But all my Gmail stuff is just so hacked. It's not even funny. Reptilians, basically the way to put it here, the way they have things integrated into your technology, unless you are a part of the technology, integrated with it like a cyborg style, and I do mean that almost literally, you can make whatever password you want, but that's not going to protect you. It goes into the realm of people, things in sci-fi, people controlling devices with their mind. So that's the new realm of hacking. Fortunately, I kind of knew that the whole time, so it doesn't really matter that I don't actually know any programming languages anymore. So that's nice. But the point is, see, every time I try to go about doing something productive like this, they want the star seeds to be immobilized so we can't complete our missions and become little robots or slaves to them. Every time I try to be productive, they have attempted to interfere in some fashion. Like, I'll be uploading a video, it'll be almost done, and I'll suddenly stop the internet. I'll go to the library, and then I'll look, and I'll see that, oh, the internet came back on, and I walked in the ozone, which has been depleted in my area so badly that you practically can get burned outside. I don't get burned, but I can feel that I'm being exposed to radiation, like UVA. That we're supposedly not supposed to be exposed to, but the sun is so blazing hot in the middle of winter. I mean, we're entering winter. It doesn't make any sense this time of year. It's usually raining where I live in San Ramon, California. And this area got hit really bad almost overnight with this stuff, so I can't exactly blame people, for doing what they did. So I understand now, my audience. I already did understand this, but it's always nice to find another starseed who managed to hold out during this time, a light worker. Those of you who ended up having things happen, it's going to be okay. Things will happen with some of you, things will happen with other ones of you who are ready. It all depends on your state of mind. This is regardless of biology, and this is something that Cryon, I won't talk about it, but this is something that Cryon knows about a lot. He had to overcome biology, let's just put it that way, to make sure that his angelic message would come across. Those of you that know about this stuff, like cute Russian redheads, would know that with that kind of physical biology, it's pretty hard, isn't it? But it's something that we can do. It's something that I did. Somehow, it's going to be a year anniversary. I won't say the day again because, won't say it. Just won't say it. But, it's going to be a year soon when I was spontaneously healed of something genetic inside of me that I used to call like a psychopath or psychopathic urges. And so these things have been bred into us. They've been bred into us to, make us think, okay, our body is what we are. We have one life to live. We know straight up that's not true. Hello. We know that's not true. So, now we all pretty much, if you're watching this at all, we know that's not true. So, because it's not one life to live type thing, why not actually think about it on a large grand scale? Because you see what my mom would say. I would say to her, well, we're gonna run out of oil. She works for Chevron, and I'm disowned on disability, the fake version of it, at least right now. So subsisting on that. So she might make money, but I don't. She keeps that very separate from me, and basically now I'm disowned for being a starseed and not going along with the Illuminati agenda that she is a part of. I said to her, we're going to run out of oil when I was a teenager. That was about 11 years ago. And she laughed and she said, not in my lifetime. And I thought, but I thought about in school how I had looked at different charts and how we were this was a, not a renewable resource. This was a fossil fuel. This was going to run out. We need to use a renewable resource. And I thought, well, you're so proud of working for Chevron, as she used to say, and your band of geniuses can't figure out alternative energy. What's your hook on oil? What is it? And what also confused me was how she said, not in my lifetime. And I thought to myself, I'm your daughter. I'm your daughter. And also, it's really funny, I look just like my mother, except that I'm brunette and she's a blonde. Like, identical. I look just like my mother. And so, I thought, wow, okay, so I'm not on your priority list at all anymore. Okay. So I understand, basically all the audience that I'm going to be getting is going to be of, those who are below, those who want to shoot you, and, those who are getting told, watch her because we want to shoot her, type thing. It's really funny. And, people who are like, how do I get out? How do I get out? How do I get out? Mirror on the crap. How do I get out? How do I get out? How do I get it's number something or other. Schizophrenic, totally screwed up. So don't worry, Cryon understands this. And you're all in very specific positions for specific reasons, just like I was. You all have very specific biology for specific reasons. Also, for example, for, say, all the friends down below. Everybody over in Scandinavia. They've all got, like, these vampire fetishes and stuff. As Cryon would say, I'm not sure what that means to you. I saw in the compound that I was in, people had already obviously figured it out, but, you see, it requires some effort on your part. Cryon said, compare it to Godric, like with True Blood. Tell them, like with True Blood, think of Godric, how everybody loved Godric so much. And Godric was this vampire who he makes this comment where Eric, who, Godric is the maker, and has made Eric, and Eric's kind of dickhead, sexy dickhead, and he goes up to Godric with this sparkling blood or whatever, saying it was from some human who had fasted on oranges for however long, or something, or whatever, exotic, and Godric looks at him and says, oh no, I've very little need for blood now. No, and so he doesn't have anything to eat, So think about it that way for anybody who's not like vampiric watching this. He has no food, so it's no blood, no food in him, no energy in him, really. But the main character suddenly gets threatened and held up by her throat and about to get murdered. And in a second, he's immediately there and stops the entire thing. And he doesn't harm anybody. He stops the entire thing and says, okay, you have to go away here. Do what I say. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Okay, you two, this is what we're going to do. Alright, you all know that I'm the most powerful vampire here. You all know that I'm the oldest. You all know that I could have killed you all, but I didn't. That's the kind of, see, Cryon wants to make that kind of comparison for people like that watching. So, they're like, okay, he's saying there's another scene in True Blood where there's a girl and she's got her arm out like this, and she's saying, come on, it's okay. And Eric, or what's his name? I'm getting Alexander Skarsgård pronounced wrong because I don't care anymore because I got screwed over by Swedish asshole. Anyway, but who kind of sold out, but sorry, you guys aren't assholes. I apologize. But you come off that way to non-Scandinavian. Sorry, like the whole not talking to strangers thing and everything. That's just weird to us. So, and also, if you're telepathic, you're talking to every stranger you meet. So, okay. Like, yeah. But so, yeah, so the girl's holding out her arm, and Eric says, oh, but I can't do it if you're not scared and screaming. And I remembered watching that thinking, that's weird. But when I was in the compound, I could understand, there was one woman, she would still try to hurt me because of her programming. This one woman who was controlled but being used as a literal, physical, like blood food source, who would have marks, like fang marks on her wrist and such. Let me see if I can point to it. Where you see the line there on either side. On the inner side here is a radial artery. On the opposite side there would be the vein. And the two marks were I can't really show it very well. Gonna get this about here and here. To the two marks, and she would be fed from every several days, I would notice, and they would tape it up just like a blood draw, but it would look like two deep fang marks about this far apart, always in that about in that area. I don't know if they used other areas, like in True Blood they talk about femoral and stuff. And as an ex-junkie, yes, ex-heroin addict, I do know about that. That's why I made the joke with all the indigo children. Yeah, we all became drug addicts because we couldn't figure out what the fuck was going on. So, it's okay. And also, a lot of you vampiric types, you all become drug addicts because, you can't handle what's going on either. You can't handle what's, what you're doing. Let alone the light, people will tell you, oh, the light's the problem. As long as you eat it, then it's fine or whatever. But even without me there, you guys were trying to commit suicide by yourselves and had to have sheets taken away from you so you wouldn't hang yourselves. And it would have nothing to do with me. I knew that this one girl who came in for the first night, she was put into this the more maximum security area, where the doorknobs were different and there was a window and, all kinds of reflective surfaces everywhere so they could watch and monitor. And she tried to hang herself in there with the sheets. And they suddenly freaked out, and I knew, oh wow, this has nothing to do with me. This has to do with, whatever they brought her in here for. Because the other people in there, they were really being brought in there for some sort of emergency reason, and normally it was a suicide attempt. Almost everybody in there had attempted to commit suicide, or me and another guy, it seemed like, were fighting back programming. The other guy, he didn't manage to get out, but I said, I am getting out. And I did, and the one woman, who was being fed from, she was just, her internal crystalline grid was just so warped upon itself that she could sometimes be lucid at times, but she would fall back into it, and so I would just think, okay, just, I can be nice to her, but right now there's not much I can do. So, damn you sellout teachers for not really damn you, but we have to make up with you and kind of become friends, because the plan to kill us all off who didn't go along with things is not working. Cryon was very smart with getting himself killed off, because he knew that the minute that he got killed, he would be more powerful, and so he was being not killed on purpose, and he had to make people mad enough to actually kill him, and so apparently used me to help accomplish that. I won't go into that, but the reptilian types will know what I am talking about. So now he's bringing my attention back to doing the work. So how does one survive on blood that's not charged with that kind of fear energy that you're used to? How do you do that? How did Cryon do that? And I'll just leave that inside joke for the Reptilians. How did Godric in the in True Blood do that? Who was the template for Godric? Somehow, and Godric dies, right? But Godric is still like this icon, this symbol. Like, how did he do that? How did he do that? And what Cryon says to me right now is that you have to do the work. So when you physically feed, that means blood of whatever type it is. It should be kosher. Meaning the way in which how much you scare the thing before you kill it and drink its blood. It's understood that it's biologically required for ascension, for all of those races, and as interrelated as they are, and as much as they want to squabble with each other. I'm just going to call you guys reptilians for now. What Cryon says is, you're used to feeding off that biological material charged with an energy. So, first, become used to feeding off the material, well, to a minimal extent as possible, not because you want to, but because, okay, now I got to, or else, or else I'm going to start getting sick or something. You have to actually meditate, meditating, doing deep breath in, holding, deep breath out. He says they've got all the teaching for this. They don't need you to teach them. They can look it up themselves. They know how to figure it out. They just have to put their minds to it and do it. So he says, put your mind to it. You've got the information, so do it. And apparently, he says they've got way better information than you have. So tell them, get their asses in gear and do it. What you do is you meditate and you allow yourself to feel that intense, insatiable hunger. Feel that hunger and feel it encompass your whole body. If it gets too intense and you feel like you're just gonna run outside and like devour whatever, I used to say I want to kill small animals. That was my joke. Then stop. But if you can, if you're watching this, you probably can allow the feeling of hunger of the spiritual hunger to flow over your whole body, and then allow it to fill your aura, and then allow it to fill the room. And as you're feeling the feeling of hunger move out and out and out, further and further and further, begin to think of what it feels like at that point. And it should begin to feel less intense. It should begin to become more, shall we say, manageable. And just a second here, I'm going to pause for a second and create a cool part 2 because I feel like it.